Some decisions are too important to leave up to AI to decide. So that's where we need human, you know. So the main philosophy behind human in the loop design pattern is automation, but with accountability, you know. So we don't trust entirely on AI. Some decisions we need human input. So that's what we will be talking about this design pattern. So we'll talk about the architecture, the core idea, when should we use this pattern, and the limitations, the trade-offs, and obviously we'll try to see some use cases, and we will do an hands-on where I will show you how the system we can design this kind of system. Okay, so without delay, let's start. So the main philosophy, as I said, is like automation with accountability. Core idea is like not all the decisions should be fully automated. At critical checkpoints, AI agents can pause and then delegate or defer their decisions to human. So let's say we have a high stakes task that comes to an agent. Agent processes that and generates some response. And now there is a checkpoint, and this checkpoint is the check. So we will pause it for review. Now it goes to a human. Now the human will review and decide, and then for the human has to decide whether it's approved or not. If it is not approved, human will say no. Then it will go to the revise and apply feedback block, and it will go back again, and this cycle continues. But if the human approves, then it will go to the next step or take the next action. So it can happen that it will do multiple steps, then another checkpoint. So like that, we can have multiple checkpoint by the human. So that's what is important for high stakes task. Let's see. So what is this loop pattern? So basically an agent execute routine task autonomously. Okay, but at predefined checkpoint, its execution pauses. Now humans review the output, provide even guidance, then approve or reject actions. So it can happen that the decision is not just about approve or reject. It can also say that okay, you told me the output. Okay, now do this one. So this is example. Nowadays we use agents to code it, right? So the coding agent. So basically we tell that okay, you build this model. So then it will build. Then we will review the output. Then we'll say that no, can you do this change? So like that we are giving human as an input. So currently the coding agents what we see, those are kind of human in the loop kind of thing, right? So but another example is like the agent can review the output, provide the guidance, even approve or reject your actions, and then agent resumes the execution based on human input. So this is not a failure of automation. This is an intentional system design, right? So we want the human to review the output of the agents. Okay. So why it matters? Because fully autonomy is risky, because we don't know how it will be, right? It's common sense. Like some decisions involve high consequences, either ethical, legal responsibility, and also it can happen that subjective judgment. So it is very biased judgment might happen, and accountability is very critical. So that's why AI can assist, but humans remain responsible. So that's the main philosophy here. Okay, and this ensures human in the loop, or HITL, ensures safety, trust, auditability, and regulatory compliance. So that's why it's something we do not delegate completely to AI. For example, AI is not will not able to recommend medicines because we need a doctor. So even if doctor can take the help of AI, but AI cannot directly do some counseling to some patients. So those kind of places we need human in the loop kind of design system. Okay, so yeah, let's see. So when should we use this one? Best scenario when the decision involves significant consequences, safety or ethical risk, or maybe subjective or contextual judgment, because your judgment might be different from mine. So in that case, we need human to review that, or wherever legal or regulatory is there, so we can use that. And some like financial transactions, above some authorization limit. For example, when you are doing some transaction, common transaction is not, but when you are doing more transaction, you need a human to approve that kind of thing, and yeah, some legal document review, and for example hiring, resume profiling, right? So there, even if AI screens, but human decides whether to hire or not. So you cannot leave this task to the judgment of AI, right? And the limitation trade-off, like because human is there, the process might be slow, because you are pausing there. So also add architectural complexity in terms of design. So when to call the agent, at what checkpoints, those. So more complexity in terms of designing that. and also the workflows interruption is there, and slower end-to-end execution. And infrastructure needed, like we should have such infrastructures where we can pause our workflow, and when it resume, it should not happen that it has already broken. It should resume from where the last point it was the conversation was there. And also we need some human notification system that it may happen that agentic workflow is running overnight, but then humans should be notified that okay, now agent is paused, now the human work is there. So those kind of thing, we need to come up with some intelligent design system. Also we need decision tracking, like for example, even if human told something, we need to track the decision, right? And now human provided feedback, now how AI agent took that feedback and incorporated further, and also we need an audit logs as well. So that's so without clear escalation rules, human either get overwhelmed or critical decision slips through. This kind of trade-off might happen. So we have to have a L1, L2, L3 kind of decision level as well. So we have to. That's what is the most complex or highest category would say. Where humans are involved in this autonomous AI agent system. Okay. So yeah, some useful use cases are like for the clinical variant reports. And for example, we generate the report. Let's say you automate everything nowadays. You did the NGS analysis, all the secondary analysis pipeline, tertiary analysis pipeline, annotation, everything. But before sending the output, human, clinical expert or a doctor clinician, they has to review, and then it will be signed out. Those kind of thing. Also, clinical decision support system. You take the AI, but finally, ultimately, human has to, review. And again, drug discovery decision gates like clinical trial 1, 2, 3, phase 1, 2, 3, drug discovery, hot hits to leads, those kind of thing where human might play an important role. Okay. So with that, let me quickly demonstrate you very interesting use case where we will execute our normal agentic workflow and we'll ask the human to review it. Okay. So let's see that. Okay, so I'm back here. So again, I will be using OpenAI agent framework. And if you have not seen this, watch my earlier videos to go through detail like how to build. So basically, we are importing the libraries, agents runner, and these are for open model like that. But I will be not using them. So I have commented this. So I will be using GPT 4.1 nano model. And then here we are defining some tools, basically basic function here, annotate variant. It's just a dummy function. Okay, it doesn't do. It just returns some fancy statement. So this is the variant, and this is simply likely pathogenic. Okay. So now this is my agent I'm defining here. Sorry. So this is my agent. I'm saying given a list of genetic variants, use your tool to annotate each of these clinical significance. And this is the model, and this is the tool I'm assigning. Okay. So here I have defined the agent. So now this is the most critical part of the design where we are creating the workflow. So let's say we have a function where we are asking the user, which we are giving the entire report to the user. A report means generated by the agent. So we are saying that this is the report received, and you need to review it and just feedback. You asking the report approve, report yes or no. And if report yes, then you are reporting going ahead. So that's what. This is the main workflow, HITL pipeline, where we receive some variants from the user, more than one variants, and we are calling the agent here. So because we will be giving a list, in this example, I'm just joining with comma, very simple. Otherwise, you can pass comma separated as well, not a problem as it is. So this is where the agent is running, and we'll get some draft. So now I'm calling this human review function here and sending this draft. The draft output. Now the human will review and it will say whether it's approved or not. And if it is approved, then we will print that output. Otherwise, we will fail it. Okay. So let's define this function and this one, and let's run it. So here we are sending these two variants. So what will happen now? It will generate me a report. So now see, human review report, draft report. This is the report, draft report. So now it is asking for my input. So this approve report, yes or no. So for now, let's approve. So I will say Y. I am the human. I am now approving this. So it will go ahead and it is report finalized. So we can define further, like, after that call next step, and then next step. So we can further improve it. So let's rerun again. This time I will reject. Okay, so it will give me some so now it gave me some output. Now as a human I say approve report, no. Okay, so report rejected, please revise and resubmit, final report is no, none, like that. So that's how you put the human review. This was a very simple demo, but in real production level use case we can have some notification, some AWS when we deploy, some lambda function, some API call, and human can provide some feedback, some text goes, and some complex system we can design. But ultimately you got the idea, like we pause the execution and wait for the human's approval, and once human approve or reject, that's where we decide what to do the next step. So that's how human in the loop workflow works. So design pattern works. So we various design patterns so far. So in the next video I will summarize and we will wrap up this video series. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I will see you in the next video.